Hey, what is going on, freedom fighters? Welcome back to another live stream here on Break the Chains Media. Today is Monday, August 11th, 2025, and I'm your host, Corey. We're getting into it live on Monday. I don't know, it's just like a catch-up Monday awesomeness. Hold on, let me see here. Hold on, I actually have one thing I just noticed. That intro was excellent, but I forgot to punch that in my streaming software. Anyways, what is going on? It's a Monday. It's a great day. It's a good start to the week. We had a good vibe going on all weekend. The dog days of summer are upon us, and we are here. We are aware, and we are witnessing what is happening right now in D.C. as far as Trump and his National Guard and his federalization of the law enforcement to quell the crime, the level of crime in D.C. We're going to be talking about that. We are also going to be kind of doing a comparison and contrast. I don't know if you guys remember these back in elementary, middle school, the compare and contrast essays, where we had to write about two different things and see what are similar and what are different. Well, we're going to be doing that with the Washington, D.C. situation, with Chicago, with Denver, with L.A. You see these comparison and contrast from Democrat-ran and Democrat-controlled enclaves in these liberal hellholes of crony establishment cities, right? These leftist cities. So we're going to be talking about that and comparing those to the intentions and the real honesty of what it means to be pro-liberty, pro-freedom, anti-communist, anti-socialist, anti-Marxist, overreaching, high-security authoritarian. And I will be honest, it is a little bit it's a little bit unsettling for people to see a president actually doing something. So, or instilling a federal level of enforcement. So, there's much to be had as far as these conversations go. We're going to talk about Denver, the state of decay in Denver, more Denver politics. Phil Weiser, Attorney General Phil Weiser, and his scumminess. Denver imposing rolling brownouts or rolling blackouts in the city. Or I guess they're not imposing, they're proposing it, but they're saying conserve energy because we're on an energy struggle right now. The crisis is real here in Denver, but you're going to have Governor Polis go out there and talk about all these new electric vehicle charging locations. And then we have also tying into that, the Denver International Airport is going to be talking about and having discussion about running on nuclear power. So we're going to tie all this in. They're really leaning into this this secret underground city that was built under DIA. So if they're going to be, they're saying now that DIA needs a nuclear power plant. What really is going on in DIA? So we're going to talk about all these things here on Break the Chains Media. But if this is the first time joining Break the Chains Media, hit that thumbs up button. Join us. Follow us. We do live streams Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays. Definitely every Tyranny Response Tuesday, you can find us here. Mondays and Wednesdays, if I'm feeling like it, if I'm up to it. And I am today, so you're lucky to have me. You're lucky to catch me here on Rumble. We're also streaming on YouTube now. And we are streaming on X as well. So keep crushing it. You can follow me at Break the Chains M on X, but you can also find me at breakthechains.media. That is the website here. Breakthechains.media is the landing page. You can find the articles, find the social media links, whatever one suits your fancy. Instagram, X, YouTube, and Facebook, Rumble. And if you want to sponsor the channel, support the channel, Realm Walker Hot Sauce is the place for you. Travel the 9 realms of Norse mythology through hot sauce. We've got many different flavors. Some are going to be bottled this week, I assure you. Colorado grown, raised, and sourced hot sauce, fermented hot sauce, delicious. From mild to extremely spicy. We got Carolina Reapers, we got habaneros, we got chocolate ghost peppers, chocolate Douglas, all these different flavors, all these different varieties. You can see all the different products here on breakthechains.media and on the drop-down menu under Realm Walker Hot Sauce. Pretty cool stuff, pretty tasty stuff. We've got very mild. A mild one would be Niflheim or Midgard. But you also have the Ragnarok, which is chocolate super hot peppers, apocalypse peppers, and green chili. So it's going to be super spicy, super smoky. And then Asgard is coming in stock very soon. We got Carolina Reaper, Dragon's Breath, garlic, and tomatoes. It's going to be fantastic. Can't wait to try that one. But yeah, join us at breakthechains.media or Break the Chains M on X. But we're going to get into it right here, right now. We're going to start off real quick. We're going to be showing this video here because I think we gotta set the board, as it were. So this is Libs of TikTok. I mean, you can find this anywhere, but DC will now be under federal control. National Guard will be deployed. This is Liberation Day in DC, and we're going to take our capital back, quotes President Trump.
And we're here for a very serious purpose, very serious purpose. Something's out of control, but we're going to put it in control very quickly, like we did on the southern border. I'm announcing a historic action to rescue our nation's capital from crime, bloodshed, bedlam, and squalor.
And squalor.
This is Liberation Day in D.C., and we're going to take our capital back. We're taking it back.
We're going to take our capital back, folks.
Vested in me as the President of the United States, I'm officially invoking Section 740 of the District of Columbia Home Rule Act. You know what that is?
You know what that is?
Placing the D.C. Metropolitan Police Department under direct federal control, and you'll be meeting the people that will be
so the Metro D.C.
involved with that. Very good people, but they're tough. And they know what's happening.
They know what's happening. They know what's going on. They are the toughest.
Deploying the National Guard to help reestablish law, order, and public safety in Washington, D.C., and they're going to be allowed to do their job properly.
I mean, folks, let's take a beat, right? Let's understand what's really going on, right? So, I know this scares a lot of leftists. I know this scares a lot of independents, even, but when we have a problem that needs to be addressed, and it's written in the law, in the code of laws that we operate as a government, when the executive branch does something that might, be a little uncomfortable, just because it's scary for some does not mean it's unconstitutional or illegal or dangerous, right? It's just shocking to actually see a president do something within his realm of scope of presidential powers, right? And don't get me wrong, because the last administration, Biden, whether it was him or someone else, but they did their own use of the presidential powers in different ways, right? So, I always, as a independent thinker and someone who does not participate in authoritarian regimes, and someone who's against tyranny as a whole, seeing this kind of behavior is a little unsettling. But to understand what we're dealing with and why he's doing it is more important, because we are now experiencing levels of crime and levels of dangerous living situations in not just D.C., but other cities across the country. We are seeing it unfold in real time, and we see these Democrat operatives, whether it's attorney generals, whether it's secretary of states, whether it's governors, whether it's county commissioners. We have many different degrees of these corrupt leftists, these Marxist scumbags that have infiltrated different districts and different operations within blue states and some red states, mind you. This is actually how Colorado has been fundamentally changed in 2 decades, from an independent red-leaning state to a liberal enclave hellhole ran by a bunch of foreign transplants from California. This is how it's happening. This is how it's happened. They've taken over institutions, whether it's county level, whether it's clerks, whether it's commissioners, whether it's school boards. It starts at the very, very low grassroots level, and then it becomes a district attorneys and attorney generals and governors and Supreme Court, or state Supreme Court positions. This is how it happens, right? So we're looking at this here, checking this out. And it makes great sense. I don't follow him, but Clay Travis posts on X, can anyone, regardless of politics, explain why this DC murder rate is acceptable? Trump saying it isn't and is trying to make it better is an issue that should have 100% approval regardless of your politics. I firmly 100% agree. Like, it does not matter what type of politics you have. If Washington, D.C.'s murder rate for 2024... So the murder rate for Washington, D.C. in 2024 per 100,000 people is 27.54, compared to Bogota, Mexico City, Islamabad, Lima, Ottawa, Paris, Havana, Delhi, London, and Madrid. All of these cities have a lower murder rate than Washington, D.C. This is not acceptable. This is one data point alone. Okay, all I did was, I mean, you just type this in, you can easily see this stuff. But I mean, it's funny what people think DC is, what DC is in reality. You got a couple other things and crime. Okay, whoop-de-fuck, like, this is hilarious, right? So,
and placing police under federal control now. Let's bring in DC Police Union Chairman Gregory Pemberton.
This is kind of a big thing, right? President of DC Police Union has come out in full support of President Trump's takeover of the police department. This is an important thing that needs to be rectified. These liberal enclaves, these little bastions of communism in our country, in our different state houses, are the reason why these institutions, why these states are failing, why California is a failed communist hellhole. Granted, it has great aspects to it. It has one of the greatest economies. It has so many different beneficial things for it, but it is ran completely by inept fools. It is in financial ruin. The infrastructure is falling apart. We see the same things happening in Denver right now. Denver's infrastructure is behind the time. It can't keep up. We're in a fiscal downfall. We have a $1 billion in debt. Or in a deficit, okay, and our Colorado's been run by Democrats for 2 decades. DC is no different. 95% of DC voted for Kamala Harris. What does that tell you about how it's being operated, how it's being managed? Okay, let's take a listen.
And thank you so much, sir, for being here. So, from your view, is this necessary?
Well, look, we completely agree with the president that crime in the District of Columbia is out of control and something needs to be done with it. We have to go back to how we got here, though. In 2020, the D.C. City Council passed an enormous amount of legislation that handcuff police officers, exposes them to administrative, civil, and even criminal liability, even when they do their jobs properly. And now, 5 years later, our authorized sworn strength is 4,000 sworn police officers. We currently have 3,180. So we have more than 800 vacancies for the position of police officer. And the way the department makes up for that gap is through 2 million hours of mandatory overtime every year.
That's insane. That's incredible.
From federal law enforcement and maybe even the National Guard, it shouldn't come as a surprise, and we agree with that. I think one of the issues here, though, is that we all know that's going to be temporary. So in order to fix this problem and make sure that it doesn't ebb and flow and that the feds come in and we
Congress has to do something,
and we're left holding the bag, it's very important that people know that there is underlying legislation that needs to be corrected so that we can actually properly staff this police department in order to properly police the city.
President
All right, so perfect. So brilliant segue. I love that. I didn't even watch that video, but it went perfectly into my next point. And this is exactly this, folks. And what's actually happening right now is Trump and his current federalization of D.C. Metro and the institution of National Guard. Okay, sure. It's all in a time frame. He only has a certain amount of time to federalize. No different. He did the same thing that he did in L.A., okay? During the riots, he's doing the same exact play that he was doing in L.A., okay? Little different because all he did in L.A. was send in the National Guard to defend federal buildings, okay? And protect against ICE deportation efforts, okay? Slightly different in D.C. right now. What they're doing in D.C. is the National Guard is coming in, going to do the same thing, protect and administer, but there's a lot more federal buildings in D.C. because it's a federal district. So it can essentially be like the National Guard has a lot more latitude in what they can achieve because Washington, D.C. is a federal district. It is not operated by, under what happened in California. Because California is its own state, the National Guard couldn't do much about it. So now there's a lot more latitude that the National Guard can do in D.C. because it is a federal district, okay? But it's still on a time limit. So let me pull this up here. I have this actually right here. I pulled this up with Grok. But I basically typed in, give me bullet point understanding the site legal statutes and why Donald Trump can do what he's currently doing regarding the District of Columbia. So Donald Trump is using, let's go to the summary because that's what I had it down here. Trump's legal authority to federalize Metro Police Department and deploy the National Guard in D.C. is grounded in Section 740 of the Home Rule Act and has his direct control over the D.C. National Guard justified by declared crime emergency. However, the actions are constrained by the time limits, congressional oversight, and potential legal challenges from D.C. Officials and civil rights group who dispute the emergency, necessity, and legality. However, when you got the police, the chief police union coming out and saying we support this action and we're in D.C. right now, okay, there's not much. I don't think they're going to have much legal ground. However, D.C. is a liberal enclave, and you could get someone, some activist judge, just trying to throw the book at Trump again. But it's kind of poetic when you think about it. It's kind of poetic because D.C. is 95% voted for Kamala Harris, which inherently interprets to 95% Democrat. So they're basically having to take whatever Trump is delivering to them because there's nothing that they can do because Trump has the federal authority because it is a federal district. So it kind of is a feedback loop, right? But the only thing that they have that right now that they can be working with is the federal time the time restriction, and I have it pulled up here. The Metro Police Department federalized requires congressional notification within 48 hours and extended to 30 days, and further extensions need to have congressional approval, limiting unilateral presidential action. So president can't just hold on to Metro Police. They have to go through the Congress has to be the one to enact legislation to then, and that ties right back into what was being said here as far as how the legislation is important so they can get more support through legislation so it doesn't have to be federalized, right? So let me know your thoughts in the chat, in the conversation down below. Comment down below. What do you think about this federalization of the Metro Police to clean up the crime? I genuinely believe that it's a double-edged sword because crime is bad. These Democratic districts, such as D.C. and other capital cities around the country, are falling to the wayside because of failed Democrat control. And I posted that in my earlier post today on my X. You can find it here. It's fantastic. It's amazing. But I posted the same thing earlier. Oh God. While Trump federalizes law enforcement in D.C. to clean up the city, Denver hangs air fresheners. This is a legitimate thing that's happening in D.C. or I'm sorry, in Denver right now. It's a photo. It's artistic. Maybe it's an art installation because Denver is a bunch of fucking hipster cool people. But yeah, this is an alleyway in Denver, and this goes to show you the ineptitude that Denver is falling to the wayside. I mean, my ex is pure fire. If you want to enjoy a quality time, follow my ex, Break the Chains M on X. You can follow me here, but I post all kinds of great stuff. Denver's being ran into the ground not only by Mayor Mike Johnston but Governor Polis as well. The issues are head over heels. You got ridiculous stuff happening as far as bringing in a special session in a couple weeks. So we'll get into that on tomorrow's live stream. But the deficit is out of control. So we need to understand that these Democratic cities are being ran into the ground because of their ineptitude, because of these problems that Democrat policies are instituting. Okay, but let me know what you think in the comments. I don't know, right? moving right along, we're gonna shift gears, or maybe I don't know. What are you guys thinking? Let's go to we got nuclear power at DIA. We got fucking this goon over here. This kind of ties into the conversation that we were having, right? How Democrat policies. Oh wait, where was the Democrat? Let me see. I have it here. This is Phil Weiser. Okay, I wanted to wrap up with this. Phil Weiser. Okay, this is the bow to the Trump DC crime. I don't like him using crime as a emergency, because then what sets the precedent, right? So there is a precedent that comes into it. Okay, so if Trump can federalize DC police because of a crime emergency, I mean, it's no different than COVID. So we have to be aware, and we have to be apparent, and not just go hook, line, and sinker into this agenda, into this narrative of, well, Trump's doing a good old job. He's got to clean up crime, and next thing you know, the next emergency could be energy. It could be a climate emergency. Instead of crime, it could be a climate emergency. It could be an energy emergency. It could be, our coal power plants, we're no longer able to receive coal. Therefore, this is an emergency, and then by decree, we have to enact X, Y, and Z. Do you see how it's a slippery slope? So we still have to be wary. I understand that there is crime in all of these Democratic enclaves. However, to allow federal authority to institute their edicts just because they declare it or they decree it, we still have to be wary, right? I want to stress that, like, there's a fine line between enacting the laws and using the full extent of your presidential executive power for good, but at what point do we have to start kind of doing a introspective and regulating ourselves and understanding, but wait a minute, like, how far do we take this? How far do we allow emergency declarations? Because the same thing kind of happened during COVID. We can't keep allowing the federal government to get away with everything, way more than they already have, right? But let's address this. I posted this. It's on my X account. You can follow it there. Colorado Democrat AG Phil Weiser at it again. We see the decay in Democrat-ran cities like Denver, D.C., Chicago, New York City, San Francisco, and L.A. Fabricate the stats to make it seem successful on paper, and then you present it for legislation. In reality, they are the architects of the destruction. Okay? And this is Phil Weiser saying it here. If you decriminalize crime rates will appear lower, right? Which is why we had to show murder rates for DC, right? This is why we had to show the murder rate, because you can't decriminalize murder, okay? But if they're decriminalized, and it's the same thing goes. Let's do this, because this was a breaking news today. Let me see if I can type it in really quick. Yep. So this is, let's do this. Hold on. I want to get an updated article of it. Hold on, July. I am searching in real time right now for, no, that's old. 4 days ago. Is this it? Yeah, this is it. So yeah, all right. Yeah. Charges officially dropped against attempted kidnapping suspect after competency finding. Solomon Galligan, 34, is now being treated at the Colorado Mental Health Hospital for mental health issues, but prosecutors admit there's a possibility the suspect could eventually be freed. Guess what happened today? He was released today from the mental health ward. This is what happened, okay? Disgusting.
A person accused of trying to kidnap an elementary school
I
student
covered
during
this earlier.
recess is no longer
A couple
facing
weeks ago.
charges. 34-year-old Solomon Galligan has been found incompetent to stand trial, so a judge in Arapahoe County was required to dismiss the case under a change in state law.
State law.
Chuck has been covering this case.
Democratic state laws are fundamentally changing the way our government operates because they want to instill their communist utopia. No blade of grass will be taller than any others. Everyone will be under the boot of crime. If there was no crime, there would be no reason for government. This is why the Democrats continue to. It's a feedback loop. They make sure that the crime and stats are terrible, so that way they can institute and they could run on these articles, and then nothing changes because they funnel it and they launder more and more. Let's keep fucking listening.
And tonight she's digging into details of this one and how the community.
I don't want to watch this whole thing, but.
You could feel a sense of frustration in the courtroom.
Fuck are you?
Everybody knew that this decision was coming, but everybody also agreed that the current systems in place in Colorado right now are not working. At the Arapahoe County Justice Center on Thursday evening,
the court had no choice
doors to the courthouse weren't the only things closing,
but to dismiss this case.
A judge said case closed against the suspect seen here, 34-year-old Solomon Galligan, who court documents reveal is a transgender woman who goes by Carmen, appears to walk onto the field of an Aurora elementary school, then tries kidnapping a boy.
Things like this affect us all in the community.
Dante White is one of the parents whose kid was there and who showed up to speak to the judge before she dismissed all charges against the suspect.
Mixed emotions, right? I try to prep myself for it, right? Try
to
process what was going to happen, what we, anticipated was going to happen, but it didn't take away the sting.
Court documents shine a light on Galligan's previous criminal history and extensive battle with mental health problems. One motion states Galligan has undergone at least 23 competency evaluations over the past 18 plus years.
Get rid of them.
In this case, Galligan was found incompetent to stand trial and not likely to be restored. Under Colorado law, judges have to dismiss cases like this.
Everybody walked out of that door saying
disgusting.
The law needs to change.
The assistant district attorney admitted, although the defendant is getting state-mandated mental health treatment now, there is no guarantee Galligan will not be released.
I don't have access to what is going to happen from this point forward.
Oh, I've got a follow-up to this.
Problems with the current statute. Once a case is dismissed, we in the criminal justice system lose the ability to monitor. We lose the ability to be heard.
Because that's how it's been established in Democrat enclave hellholes.
Advocating that lawmakers reevaluate.
It begins with legislative change. We will take these cases one by one, and if there is any chance to fight it, we're going to fight it.
And I think everybody's going to kind of take a look at this and say, that could have been my kid, that could have been my brother, my sister, my child, and that's where effective change happens.
For more of our coverage on this case, plus to find our other...
Okay, bye. I got a update right here for us, folks. Where is it? Where can I just place it right in the place where I wanted it to? Yeah, right here. Here's an update on that article. Update on that story, folks. As of today, okay, from the New York Post. Trans sex offender escapes prosecution after trying to kidnap child during elementary school recess. What a fucking headline. Like, this is the world we're living in, folks. Are we going to allow this to persist? This is happening in Denver right now. Excuse me, Aurora. Colorado is being ran by these psychopaths, allowing this shit to take place, allowing this shit to fester. Okay? DC is no different. Chicago's no different. San Francisco, LA, New York, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Minneapolis. Okay? So many places are being underreported on because the overwhelming nature of just the incompetency of these fuckers. It's sickening. Okay? Let's listen.
President Trump was prepared. Told you that President Trump was preparing.
Wait, what is this? I don't want to listen to this. Hold on. Let's just read the fucking article. That's not a fucking... All right. A transgender registered sex offender will escape prosecution after he tried to kidnap a child from Colorado schoolyard, thanks to a controversial law that faced criticism from prosecutors and even the suspect's lawyer. Now, this is insanity because they're using the trans argument as a plea for insanity. Do you see this happen? Do you see how they're doing this? Okay? Was found mentally incompetent after he alleged attempted to snatch the 11-year-old during Black Forest Hills Elementary School last year. Okay? And because the suspected creep can't be, quote, restored to competency, according to his evaluation, the judge overseeing Galligan's case was left with no choice but to dismiss the charges. Okay? This is the creature. This creature was released today. Okay? Let's see. Galligan announced his gender transition in a 2011 Facebook post. Is that really the same person? Is that the same person? What world are we living in, folks? I mean, that was a decade ago, but still. Let me read this sentence, because this is a sentence too. Galligan announced his gender transition in a 2011 Facebook post and later identified as a woman. That same year, he was registered as a sex offender after he was convicted of a non-consent sexual contact. As per the New York Post, this is a report. Okay? This is incredible. Okay? Yep. So this was published today. Escapes prosecution. This is how the system has failed us, folks. The system has failed us in such a way that people like this can be let go because of the weak will and the usurpation of our constitutional republic and the founding principles of our governmental process, because these Democrats get into positions of power to fundamentally reassess and restructure how our government operates through litigation, through legalese, right? This is how it works. This is what their whole intention is, okay? All right. I could ramble on. I could rant on. Thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoy this content. Follow the channel, Break the Chains Media. We do live streams Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Tyranny Response Tuesday nights. And join us, conversate, be a part of the community, be a part of the conversation. I love having comments. I love having live chat. Let's see what y'all think. Moving right along though, we are jumping into it. We got about we're doing good on time. Let's transition, because I wanted to have a conversation. It kind of. Yeah, let's see here. Because I had this pulled up, and I posted this on my other socials. But yes, hold on. Fuck off. I have so many windows open right now. Yeah, I think this is interesting because this goes hand in hand with declarations of emergencies or governmental control or at what scope does the decisions being made by our elected officials go affect us directly, right? So we're gonna shift over to this from the Denver Gazette. Denver minimum wage climbs to $19.29 per hour on January 1st. Okay, and I had a very interesting back and forth with what I would consider a stage 5 Trump derangement syndrome sufferer regarding this post. And I had an honest conversation. I posted this in my own opinion as an honest conversation to be had. I said we should abolish the minimum wage. We should abolish minimum wage and allow people to work on merit and work on value and skill set. You know, entry-level jobs, you have an entry-level position. You have an entry-level price. Okay? And, you know, there's many people that talk about the conversation of cost of living, standard of living, everything's going up. Okay, well, if you mandate higher minimum wage. What do you think happens when you have a higher minimum wage? Those people, the people that we are offering these minimum wages to, now have to, let's say you go to a grocery store. So that minimum wage now, that grocery store has to pay the worker that works at the grocery store more money. So the only way to pay that person more money is to raise the price of the good that they sell or the service that they offer. Okay? So in order to pay higher wages, prices have to go up. So if the cost of living is harder to attain, raising the minimum wage does not help that, because the cost of living will have to follow the minimum wage. It's a constant back and forth. It's a constant chasing their own tail. Okay, you will never find a solution, and you will eventually live in a communist fucking slave camp under the control of one monolithic slab of a mega corporation that owns everything. In my opinion, okay? Well, someone decided that I ruffled their feathers, and they thought that well, why can't we have why aren't minimum wages bad? I just said allowing the government to mandate the price in which someone gets paid decreases the value in which what it means to offer that job. Okay? And then people have less work ethic, have less drive, have less passion behind a project, have less desire to strive to make more money. If you have a guaranteed minimum wage, what is the reason to work harder if this is guaranteed? If there is no guarantee in life, yeah, it sometimes feels a little scary, a little you're walking into the world, the unknown world, okay? It's a little scary in the unknown vast wilderness of society, of life. But that is also the pinnacle place to hone in skills and find niches and markets and value in things that you could see an open market for, right? Upward mobility. You could strive to work harder in a position that you get, to climb the ladder, as it were, right? So when you have guaranteed wages, no one has incentive to work harder, okay? And then everyone's just expected to fucking live in this squalor, okay? Well, this stage 5 Trump derangement person just went to the nth degree on how terrible it is, that I think that that I'm wanting people to, I'm placing the value in the person, and these other people, these leftists, these deranged people, are giving the power to the government to instill value, to force businesses to have a structure in which is unsustainable, based on the government edict says do this thing. If you don't do this thing, you cannot operate a business. I think that is a dangerous slope, because the next thing, why would you, if these leftists already hate the government, as it were, why are they allowing the government to instill markets such as this? You know, that's where I'm at. So let me read an actual excerpt of the comments. Okay. Let me read. It's a nice summary of what I thought. Okay. So someone was basically saying, like, what's the problem with having guaranteed income? I said, well, the dollar's lost 97% of its purchasing power since 1913. The government setting wages remove upward mobility, incentive, and economic competition. A set wage doesn't fix the fact that everything else we purchase will go up, therefore nullifying the wage standard, then increases in wages only to increase product service costs, and the cycle continues. Okay? This will create literally a modern-day caste system, those living under the financial structure of the state and those who broke the gold ceiling and can afford whatever they want. Okay? You get this dual society. Okay? The only people that could allow for minimum wage mandation is corporations. The same people that these leftists hate would be the only people left to offer minimum wage jobs at $19 an hour. Therefore, creating less small business, less economic diversity, and you're going to incentivize monopolization. Okay? And I'll read you this, and I'll finish it up. I'll finish the point with this. Corporations that can afford a higher minimum wage will be all that's left to offer the job. This is a horrible idea. Eventually, you'll see mega corporation workers working their 40 hours a week at $100 an hour, and they'll get paid on their megacorp card. Like I'm using megacorp as an example, right? This is an example person, right? They'll use that megacorp card to buy all the hyperinflated food, entertainment, clothes, etc., all of which are produced by the megacorporation, then supplied to them by the same megacorporation they work for. They'll live in a megacorp-owned housing, drive megacorp rental vehicles, and go within their megacorp smart city. All of this will be structured around your mandated minimum wage, okay? It doesn't matter what if the minimum wage could be $100 an hour, 100 digital tokens an hour. A bajillion dollars an hour, okay? Doesn't matter, but it's going to consolidate the power. It's going to consolidate economic diversity. It's a terrible idea, but there was one dude that literally went off the rails with this, and I just wanted to read some excerpts because it was actually beautiful listening to this this fucking goon try to argue with me about this shit. Okay? Where is it? So this person knows that I was service industry bartender. So this person was like, crazy that minimum wages created so normal human beings could just get by and raise a family and survive, but now people like you demonize them. You're a bartender, not even a good one. You rely on tips to survive. McDonald's employees have more skills and talent than you. Oh, did you get fired from your other jobs? Is that why you're posting this? Blah, blah, blah. Right? He went on a personal attack. He went totally ad hominem attack. He did not bring up one valid argument against my point that I was trying to make, that mandating a minimum wage is a terrible idea. He just attacked my personal character, attacked who I was, attacked my position, attacked my stance. It was honestly laughable, and if you saw the exchange, you'd be like, oh, that's a fucking, this guy, dude, he's getting fucking roasted in the comments. And it's just fucking amazing that you have people, he keeps bringing up the fact that, oh, Trump is with Epstein. Trump's on this. I go, I didn't even bring up Trump. I don't even know why you're bringing up Trump. I'm talking about minimum wage. But this is stage 5 Trump derangement syndrome. This is a sufferer in the worst of ways. I wish him well. I mean, he really needs to seek help. But Where is it? Let me see. Let me get another couple response. Okay. I had a great response here. I said, demanding the government mandate wages and enact communism. You've been licking the boots so long you forgot what shit you're spewing tastes like. Real punk rock of you, bro. It's all ad hominem response. It's pretty pathetic, but this is the level in which people lose their shit when you start trying to bring up critical thinking and logical arguments and logical discussions. And we can have differing opinions on stuff, but if you can't have an argument that if you don't have points and valid arguments to your cause, I don't have time to listen to you. It was actually pretty hilarious, but let's wrap up here. Where are we at here? We got 15 minutes left. How does this look? I mean, channel, we're looking good. We're feeling good. We can wrap up with, let's see here, ranked voting. Oh, yeah, here. Let's go to this. Okay. Electric vehicles, energy, right? We're going to talk about that for a few minutes. Okay. Governor Jared Polis. We are building more fast charging stations to make it easier to charge your electric vehicle. Colorado is proud to increase the availability and affordability of electric vehicles in our state, and supporting infrastructure is an important part of that work. Okay? I said This hits differently while Colorado Excel is emailing everyone to lower our energy use. Right? Yeah, a lot of people out here. Excel just put a notice to lower power usage. You should listen to them. Governor Jared Polis pleads for Elon Musk to apply for electronic vehicle upgrade stations to ensure Polis populace of criminal illegal aliens residing under Governor Colorado sanctuary state receive the best accommodations for ICE patrols. I mean, dude, he's getting ripped apart. Stop spending money. Okay? He just announced a special session. I'm gonna make a meme tomorrow. I'm gonna post it tomorrow. But he just announced a special session about wasteful government spending, or how we can address the budget crisis here in Colorado, because pointing the finger at Republicans and the big beautiful bill, that was the reason. Meanwhile, he's standing here talking about electric charging stations, okay? While Excel's saying we're using too much power. None of it fucking makes sense. Okay? Rolling brownouts are on the horizon. That's what I fucking said. Okay? Ranked choice voting, that was a backup article I was going to get into. Phil Weiser. But yeah, here we go. Denver Airport to explore nuclear power. We're tying right into this electronic vehicle and Governor Polis doing stupid shit. But they're really leaning into this whole DIA as a secret underground government city thing. Fun fact, DIA began construction in 1993 and has never finished. To this day, they are still building, rebuilding, and etc. Building into the airport. They're rebuilding baggage claim areas. They're rebuilding road constructions. They're rebuilding new walkways. They're building different areas around the security security checkpoints. DIA and they lean into this, right? Let's look this up really quick. I'm going to look it up really quick. Let me see. DIA construction. Walls, I guess? No. So, yeah, DIA has always been under construction, but they were leaning into this for a while. No, it's DIA construction conspiracy. Because I bet you if I punch it in on a search, because for a while there they leaned into DIA being a secret underground base. Okay, but I'm probably not right. Probably not typing the right thing, but it's fine. Here, let's check out the article here. Okay, let's
store waste from we don't as a country right now.
DIA is looking to go nuclear. The airport will spend up to $1.25 million to study the idea of putting in a small reactor there.
$1.25 million. Okay. Did you hear that shit? $1.25 million. While Governor Polis calls a special session because of budget shortfall, but what was that? What was that, Kyle Clark?
$1 to study the idea of putting in a
what was that, Kyle Clark?
The airport will spend up to $1.25 million to study the idea of putting in a small reactor.
$1.25 million.
Airport leaders say an alternative energy source will help as the airport expands to meet expected demand over the next 20 years. The state considers nuclear energy as a clean power source, so it would also be eligible.
I'm not opposed to that.
I think this is one source worth investigating if you want to grow at the scale we want to grow, with the values in which we want to grow, which is around both protecting our economic growth and protecting our climate.
DIA is in City Councilwoman Stacey Gilmore's district. She brought up a number of concerns today, including how they will dispose of nuclear waste.
It's a lot different now, though.
Country right now have the infrastructure set up to store waste.
You are incorrect.
From these sort of activities.
You are incorrect.
Airport leaders say their study should provide some more concrete answers in 6 months.
Great. 6 months to a year. Okay. This article, this is twofold for me, okay? So
well, it's not inmates who pay for jail phone calls, but their families on the outside. Now because of the suspended cap on the cost of jail call.
Okay, I don't know where that was coming from, but that was weird. I don't know. Anyways, nuclear energy is a good thing. I believe in nuclear energy. I believe in clean alternatives to coal and fossil fuels and gas, all these other things. However, I just think it is funny, and I kind of half make a joke about it because there's so much talk about DIA being a secret underground governmental city. 2/3 of the amount of dirt of the removal when they were building the Panama Canal was removed when they built DIA. So when they made DIA, 2/3 equivalent to 2/3 the amount of dirt removed from the Panama Canal was removed from DIA when they built an airport. What did they build in the ground at DIA? If we're talking about the amount of dirt to fill 2/3 of the Panama Canal, I mean, that is ridiculous, right? But that, I mean, and then there's the Freemason. There's the Freemason granite slab in the security building there. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. DIA conspiracy joke walls. I need to see. Hold on. No. That's not what I want to see. Construction. Yeah. Okay, I found an article here. Okay, check it out. Yeah. So, check it out. So, this was a few years back, but why the Denver airport started embracing conspiracy theories. 2 years ago from Forbes, Blucifer, I mean, honestly, Blucifer killed the creator of the statue. The statue fell on the creator and killed him. Okay? But, so when they were they've been doing construction, they've been building in DIA, like I said, for 20 years. But now have all these walls built up around the place. They have the paintings, the mural paintings around the baggage claim area. There's a gargoyle in there. There's secret gargoyles in the luggage area. It's all kind of weird. You have to look for it. But neither here nor there. They're leaning into it with these walls. These are the white walls that they've blocked the construction areas in DIA in the building. But apologies for the noise. It takes really big drills to get to the underworld. Okay? That's just one of them. But there's other ones too. Yeah, the gargoyle. Look at this. I just called about it. Yeah. They have gargoyles in suitcases. Really creepy, weird shit. The paintings. Oh, they're all debunked, though. They're all debunked. This is a statue in front of the fucking airport. You tell me why they need a nuclear power plant. Okay? Why do they need a nuclear power plant? Where is it? Okay. Denver Airport to explore nuclear power. To be fair, like I said, nuclear is a good idea. However, we have to go in there with a grain of salt because they got a lot of sneaky weird shit about it. This is the shit they have, dude. Okay? So I just think it's funny, but what are they powering with a nuclear power plant at the DIA airport? It is interesting. It is strange. But I do think that we do need cleaner energy. We need new forms of energy. We need means to wean ourselves off of fossil fuels while still using fossil fuels. I believe in torsion energy. I believe in geothermal. I believe in free energy. I believe in 0-point energy. I believe that there are so many different ways that we can facilitate and fuel our energy crisis that we have, right? And I think that's the most important thing, is addressing that while having a little bit of jokes, having a little bit of fun, understanding that DIA is going to always be a bully pulpit for conspiracy theories. And if they lean into it, I mean, I think leaning into it, no different than what's happening right now with South Park and Kristi Noem and Charlie Kirk leaning into these jokes that South Park is doing. I mean, it makes sense, right? But Denver is one of the second largest airports in the world. Or is it the second largest? No, I'm sorry, second largest in the United States. Like top 10 in the world, maybe? Or maybe, let me double check that. But, hold on. Let me see here. Is there anything else? Sorry, is there anything else that we needed to touch base on before we wrap up? And we are going to be wrapping up in just a few minutes. And when we're all said and done, I am going to send over. We're going to go over to sign off, and I'm going to check out Timcast IRL. So that is something that we will be doing. But yeah, if you haven't yet, give me a thumbs up. Give me a follow on X, Break the Chains M on X, Break the Chains Media on Instagram. Couple days ago, we cannot forget the tireless efforts that these men and women fought for freedom. They fought for our freedom. They fought against the invasion of the Soviet Empire into the United States. Today is the 41st anniversary of the Soviet invasion of the U.S., and today we honor these brave partisans who gave up their lives defending our country from the godless communist scum who try to take away our freedom. The inscription on the partisan rock says it best. In the early days of World War III, guerrillas, mostly children, placed the names of their lost upon this rock. They fought here alone and gave up their lives, quote, so that this nation shall not perish from the earth. Wolverines! Yes, Red Dawn, the epic and legendary 1984 ballad about how a couple ragtag Americans saved our country from the communists that infiltrated from the north. Okay? This is intense. It's a beautiful homage to a time once lost from American cinema history. Red Dawn, the legends will never die. Oh. Cherry Creek High School will no longer have valedictorians. One organizing principle of wokeness is that huge threat to this country is the leftist attack on merit. And if you don't use merit to allocate scarce resources, what do you use instead? Identity and equity BS. Okay? No blade of grass shall be taller than the other in their communist utopia. That is the agenda. That is their goal. That is what they want. Okay? So, yeah, Tabor wins. We got to talk about Tabor tomorrow. Break the Chains Media, Tyranny Response Tuesday. We will be talking more about the decline of Colorado, these leftists taking over and instituting their wackaloon, crazy ideas in these enclaves. So stay up, stay in touch, stay involved. Follow Break the Chains Media on Instagram, Break the Chains M on X, Rumble, YouTube, X. You can also find me at breakthechains.media is the landing page for that. Realm Walker Hot Sauce. Never forget, if you want to follow me anywhere, here's the website and Realm Walker Hot Sauce. Folks, I love you. I appreciate you. We will continue this fight. Make sure you follow this. Share this with all your friends. Let me see. How do we get a raid going? Do we do a /raid? And then we do this. I think this is how we do. I always forget how to do a raid, but we are gonna just go into it. We're gonna do we're just gonna raid it. So, yeah, we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna jump right over to this. Is that how it works? Is that how it works? Maybe? Did I do it right? Did I? I have never raided through Rumble Studio yet. But I don't know. Either way, folks, I appreciate you. And I don't know if hold on, let me see if I can do it like this. See if I can do it like this. Let's see if I can do it like this. Yeah. Yeah. Like this. Yeah. Like that. Confirm raid. There we go. For some reason, I don't know how it goes through. Anyways, I love you. I appreciate you. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you next time. Give me a thumbs up. And as always, fight for freedom and never give up.